Hi everyone, this is Purvangi and I'm really grateful and glad that I'm sharing this information on this YouTube channel on Purvangi Shukla. And it took me a lot of efforts as well while I'm putting all my research point in front of you, and I'm always thinking and I'm always hoping also that this information will change your perspective on life. What is life? Life is something about accumulations of so many experiences which we have. It is an accumulations of so many learnings and teachings also. But today I'm actually glad to discuss with you a very important point about the Mahabharata, and this is the second session, and I have promised myself that I'm going to give informations about and my research topics on a regular basis on YouTube, so that people can get through it and they actually follow things in their life, and also this information will help them a lot and also others to change the way they are thinking. They can also change the view and the perspective about the current scenario which we are facing and which everyone is facing. So this point is basically discuss about the our four depths and the material world, and this is, I would like to share that this is according to the Mahabharata. So many learned person are there in this world. Many saints are there who knows. I mean, who actually followed this life, who also understood the meaning of our four depths. Now you may have a question that what are those four depths through which actually we born by default. Actually we were born by these four depths, and we have to gratify those all the four depths. And how could you do this? So this very important information I'm sharing with you, but before that I would like to share with you the current scenario, the current position of our mindset. Now, as being a psychologist, in the journey of my psychologist, I'm majorly dealing with the thoughts, emotions, and the behavior of the people. And behavior always comes from your thought process and the experience you had in your past lives, or in maybe in your short-term memory or in a long-term memory which has been stored, and accordingly you always behave with the people and with the situations which you are facing in your world. But I'm not here to discuss about that, but I'm here to discuss about the material debts which we are actually talking all the time. I heard a lot of people that I took this much of loan and I need to finish my EMIs. My house EMIs is still pending and we are paying this much of amount for my house or my office or my car, and we are actually borrowed money from different banking institutions. Now what happens in a whole of span of our life, we are spending and we are paying them with the interest all the amount which we actually accumulated, and we purchased that bigger thing in our life, because we could not at that particular time in that position to spend. We have a willingness to spend, but we don't have a possession of that much of money, and hence what we are doing is we borrowed from the institutions and the banking finance institutions. Now this four debts which I am talking about is debts which we were born by default. These four debts are actually debts which we were all being present, being always together, and always we will carry forward it to our next incarnation. Now of course this session, this particular information may not be useful for those people who don't believe in incarnation. This information may possibly for people taking into the sarcastic way or maybe criticize this particular session of mine, because they thought that in this modern science and in this such a technological era, what are you talking? So hence I'm putting my few efforts here on our education system. I'm not judging here, I'm not even complaining, because in this education system only I learned myself up till now. I reached at this place. I'm not actually even criticized those educational system, but I'm here to tell you, those are behind their child to study, behind that child to make them engineers, scientists, or maybe doctors, and various other designations through which they can serve the humanity. They can make their money and they accumulate the wealth. But frankly speaking, our current education system is not empowering us. Our current education system is making us a slave to do the job. Now why I'm saying this? I am here to tell you one of the very great example of one of the teacher who was a teacher since he actually taught into a primary school for more than 35 years. And after 35 years of his life being a teacher, he wrote a book which is called Dumping Us Down. And I really admire you everyone, that I really inspired you, and I'm telling you that before you judge anything, before you do anything, just purchase this book and read it. Why our education system is now not empowering us. Now what happens is, basically when we are actually educated, the happens is we actually get some degree from some institute which qualified us, that the person is undergrad, grad and masters and so many other professional degrees. Now what happens is, due to we are into one of the competitional race, we are going through a human race where we found ourselves that if I do something else apart from the educational system which we are providing, happens is I could not be able to earn money. I could not able to survive in this society. But that was a wrong point. Yes, I'm saying this is the wrong point. Why? Because education system is making our professions, our passions to be downgraded. But majorly you need to study much, you need to understand much about the mathematics and about the science and the other parts of the subjects, but they never actually asked you to be empowered through your thought. Now what is the meaning of empowering thought? Empowering thought means there is a thought when it comes to your head. It is not something like any abstracted thought comes into your mind, but this is a very productive thought which comes into the mind. Edison was telling very nicely, it is too good for me that I never entered any abstracted thoughts in my mind. I never allowed them to be entered in my mind. So the same way I'm here to tell you something, that when you are actually dealing with your educational system, or when you are taking an education, you are passing through your various stages of your life, and then one day you need to find a job for yourself, because that is the ultimate role, and that only the role where you wanted to earn money, where you wanted to accumulate the wealth, because you need to live into this society. You need to prove yourself that you are not a failure. But as I'm giving you the lessons about the Mahabharata, I would love to tell you that Shri Krishna was telling one day to Arjuna that, Arjun, it is too nice to be failed for a whole of your incarnation if you wanted to be a successful and being empowered to the next incarnation. So failure and success is something, the thought process of our mind. And I'm really sorry that I'm a little bit out of my subject and going to share with you the 4 acts, but this basic information is very necessary. Now empowering thoughts, from where could you collect those thoughts? The thoughts actually coming from the informations which you are gathering from the outside world. You are gathering from your experiences, and you gathered and it has been saved. It becomes a memory of short-term memory as well as the long-term memories, and accordingly you behave again and again with the same pattern and the manner, and you are again getting the same results. Now what happens is, many people are telling me that, Purvangi, I have a goal sheet, I have a goal chart, I'm doing journaling as you told me, I'm following all my the rituals and the routines, but still I am there where I was before 2 years. Now what? Why? So there I wanted to tell that if you are doing the same thing since last 2 years, and if you feel that you are doing it just for sake of money, you are doing it just you wanted to satisfy your ego, and you wanted to tell to the people that you are doing something very great and you wanted to show them, then here there is no growth. Why there is no growth? I'm saying that because you are doing it for the sake of doing it. You accumulate those wealth, you really earn good amount of salary, but your satisfaction level is downgraded, and that makes you slave in someone's place. When you become a slave on someone's place, you never be an independent, because freedom and independence comes with the responsibilities. It comes with the uncomfort zone, which we don't like. And when we have an uncomfort zone, we try to find the most comfortable zone in our life. Those uncomfort zone basically are teachers to us, but we feel it like as a pain in our body and our mind. We wanted to remove as fast as possible. So to live that shortcut smart life, which we are calling the western side, the people are saying always that hard work is not necessary, the smart work is necessary. But I would like to tell you here that smart work you are doing, when you are doing a smart and not doing a hard work, you actually live a short-term life, a smart life, of course a smart life, which is giving you all the luxuries, all the material world you are getting it. But when it comes to your satisfaction, when it comes to your happiness, when it comes to about your passion, when you are asking the question to yourself, am I doing right? Your answer would be a no. So what a one person should do when he or she is not doing a passionate work? What she has to do if they are into the middle of their age? Now first and foremost thing, I need to tell you that you are not supposed to wait for the correct time. But I'm here to tell you something, that you need to understand our Shastras. You need to empower your thoughts. Really go to sit in a library for 2 or 3 hours. Read about the Kautilya's Arthashastra, read about our Veda, read about our Puranas. Why? Because those are giving you the empowerment thought process. Now, empowering thought process has nothing to do with any Hinduism, nothing to do with the culture, nothing to do with to have a religious point. But this Shastra is giving you the empowering thoughts where you can put the things in a right way, in a right manner. Now here, as I am discussing with you, the 4 depths. The 4 depths are basically coming, and or maybe I can say that we were born by default. And how do we gratify it? Because as this is a very long point to discuss about, I am really interested to share with you these details. Because when you are dealing with your material world, when you are dealing with the other people, when you are dealing with your business, what happens is, when you deal with everything, you of course deal with certainly a very unvirtuous things as well, which may not be right. You need to sometimes be a lie to someone. You maybe sometimes need to go beyond your ethics, and you have to do certain things because you are into business. But here you have to stop yourself. I'm not here to tell you that become a Yudhishthir and always follow the life which is a virtuous life only, because Shri Krishna Bhagwan ultimately told everything and everyone that it is all about the balance of the virtuous life, the wealth and the profit. So these 4 depths are, the first depth is the deceased ancestors, which is called Pitrus. Those Pitrus were actually been gratified by the funeral cake. Now what is the funeral cake? So I must tell you that funeral cake is something in every tradition, like in the European countries, if you can just go to a rural area of the Sweden, they still have this kind of a culture where they actually offered a funeral cake to their ancestors, because our science taught us there is no any other world apart from the world which we are living, but that's not true. It does not mean that you can't see or you can't hear or you can't experience, means that world is not, that thing is not exist in this universe. Everything is existent in universe, and now science has also proved that. It does not mean that we cannot think logically or realizing it means it is not there. It is always there. So our ancestors were living in a pitrulok, and as it is very well said in our shastras that you have to give a funeral cake to your pitrus, because when you are actually taking blessings from, because of those pitrus only you are here. You will be able to and accomplish something in your purposeful life because of those people only. Because of those ancestrals, you will be able to beget the children of your family, and you also being begotten by your mother. So hence the funeral cake is one of the gratifications, one of the gratified act to gratify your the first debt, which is called a deceased ancestor. The second one, the God. Of course, many people have certainly this kind of a question: where is the God? Who has seen him? Who is there any kind of proof? Is there anything been proven by someone that there is a God? But yes, because as I told you that earlier, we didn't see does not mean we don't feel, does not mean that it is not there. It is there in the universe. So hence the God is there. There is some power in this universe through which we all are living. We are getting what we are actually wanting. We always accomplish the things which we always wanted to accomplish, and that is through the God, the blessings of the God which we are getting, this fresh air, the sunlight, this beautiful earth, or any magnetic things which we are getting through this universe is because of God. And the God can be gratified only and only by sacrifices. Your sacrifice does not mean that you need to sacrifice so many things in your life, but sacrifice means the yagna. Yagna means you are actually putting yourself in a vows. You are taking certain different kind of sankalps. You are taking certain kinds of responsibility to finish that yagna, and you can gratify the God. The third is the Rishi. Yes, our 7 Rishis has given a lot of empowerment to Brahma to build this universe, and those Rishis were not only good in terms of, I can say, only in Vedic, but they were so good. They actually innovated so many shastras. They have innovated with lot of science. The science which we know right now, it is only a 2% of the science they know. They know all the 5 tattvas. They know everything about the human body. They know everything about the spirituality, because they themselves have lived that life. They experienced those life, and then they took a call that yes, this is what the life, and the person has to live a life according to the ordinance of the law and order. So those rishis were being gratified by the meditation, ascetics, and the study of the shastras. So my suggestions to every parent, not only parents, but I must tell every single human being in this world, that a person needs to read Shastra, needs to read Srimad Bhagavad Gita. It is very important, that can change the view and the perspective of your life. The last and the fourth very important debt which we born by default is the other man. Of course, it has been already taught to us many times that you have to be good with the other people, being human with other people, live inoffensive life. But when it comes to accumulations of the things, when it comes to the survival, we never think of the offense and inoffense. What happens is, because we are so cruel sometimes that we actually hurt people through our thoughts first, then through our communications first, and yes, second, through our physical actions third. So your fourth very important depth you need to gratify through be human life, be non-offensive against anyone, living a very inoffensive life which gives empowerment. When you think and it will be done is a kind of an happenings. So if you really wanted to do something in your life which you think and can be happen in your life, you need to understand what is about the thought process, how our life is working, and which kind of a thought process are imbalancing the situations and circumstances of our life. And these four depths are very important to be understood, and I'm definitely coming with my different sessions, and I'm going to discuss in detail also in my coming seminars as well. And I really love if you would like to write something on this inbox, and if you want to ask any questions related to this, I definitely help you out for the same. And I am definitely coming with my different seminars and different my YouTube channels also giving me a lot of opportunities to giving my research point in front of you, and I'm putting those points in front of you often so that you can use in your life very nicely. And I hope that this information will help you a lot. You can also share with your friends and family if it has been improving in your life, it has been helpful to your life, supportive to your life. And you can also subscribe to the bell button for my next videos which I am going to upload. And if you have any question, you can definitely write me on my email ID info@purvangishukla.com. Thank you so much. Have a nice life. Have a great life ahead and be blessed by the God. Thank you so much.